we're going to talk about what you can actually do about Sudan and really about a lot of the African conflicts. And to really understand what you can do, you got to know about the gun to genocide pipeline or the gun gold pipeline. Either way, just so you can understand it. So I'm going to show you how it works. Imagine mines in a conflict zone that produce precious metal, right? Then armed actors that tax it. And then it leaves in crates that say equipment, but hold more value than you've ever seen in your whole life. Then it lands in cities that melt and restamp it. The paper makes the bars clean and money buys the guns. That's how you wash the whole thing. So I'm going to just give you the system in plain words. Mines, tax, crate, melt, paper, cash, guns. That's the whole method. And I'm going to show you about the gold standard because a lot of people say we're on a fiat system. They don't believe in the gold standard no more. According to who? Because the central banks are buying gold nonstop. The central banks are buying gold all the time. And here's how they make it happen. They extract it in Africa. They wash it in Dubai and the UAE. Then they refine and certify it in Switzerland. And then it reaches global markets in the banks, the ETFs, the vaults, and the loop is the shadow standard. The gold has become anonymous collateral that backs off ledger deals and weapon buys. So just to show you the direct line, because a lot of people are really confused here, right? Africa, Dubai, Switzerland, global finance. That's how it even works. That's how they make money. So I'm going to give you some examples on the ground just so you have a good idea of what this even looks like. Picture some miners digging, right? Militias collecting all the money. Brokers moving the crates to transit hubs. And then planes fly to Gulf refineries. Right? From where? From Kenya. From Kenya, I want you to stay focused though. Reports show hundreds of tons and billions of value flowing to the UAE channel since 2023. That cash funds procurement and pays fighters. So just to show you another map. Sudan, hundreds of tons, billions, UAE reports, right? Just to show you another side, let's talk about the buyer side of things, right? How they even make this happen, just so you can understand it. A private trust buys an LBMA stamp bar, right? They buy LBMA stamp bars from a Swiss desk. Those bars once passed through the Gulf. The trust uses the bars as collateral and swaps them into currency. Liquidity appears. It all shows up, and no bank has to ask where the ore was even boxed. So just so you get this other line, I'm trying to make it super clear for you. The Swiss stamp, it hides the origin, right? It hides the origin of the bars, right? That gives them collateral, allows them to produce collateral and gives them liquidity. Also, let's talk about who's been affected so far, right? Because this is not new at all. I'm going to go through the list. East DRC, Rwanda routing, the CIR, what is it called? Ghana, even dealing with right now, Sudan, Mali, Burkina Faso, Nigeria. Kenya is currently is the transit hub for this whole thing, right? They ship cash through it because they only care about where it's getting distributed from last. They don't even care about where it came from originally. And I can tell you where it's coming up next. Tanzania, Ethiopia, Uganda, Benin, Togo. Like, I'm just saying, I don't even know if I pronounced that last one right, but that's how it is. I put them on the screen for you right here, just so you can get it, just so you can understand. So let's go into how this works, right? How does the shadow finance system even work? So it matters because once a bar is certified, banks and ETFs treat it as clean collateral. Right? That's why it matters. Corporations and bullion banks and central banks use gold as a shadow reserve. So buying, leasing, lending on it. And in a crisis, gold flows become a private liquidity while public debt keeps growing. So certified bars are collateral, right? The banks and corporations use it as a shadow reserve. Right, still buying the gold standard on their own, right? So if we really want to injure the RSF and shut down the pipeline, we have to demand real targeted action, right? On this whole pipeline, not slogans. We need 3 things exactly, right? So public feedback audits for refineries, period. We cannot help them without doing that. Another thing we got to look at, right? Is where we're demanding it. For UAE and Switzerland, do not let Switzerland off the hook. Do not let them off the hook at all, right? We also need beneficial ownership transparency in free zones and safe licensed buying centers and mining zones, plus any humanitarian cash for communities. Anything, right? Because you have to understand, when the United States pulls cash away from these zones, right, from places they were formerly providing aid, these conflicts, they flare up real aggressively, and then they get more gold, which fuels the shadow economy. So we need to audit refineries, force ownership transparency, and funded, guarded, lawful offtake. Because the point I'm trying to get at, overall, just so you get the whole idea, is that when you say free Sudan, if who took the gold isn't running through your head, demand the ledger. Demand the ledger. Make spectacle mean accountability, because the paper is honest and the killing is financed in plain sight. I want you to understand. Please demand the ledger. That's what we need to look for. We need clear accountability across all gold that goes through Switzerland. All gold that goes through UAE, all gold that arrives in America. We need clear lines on that. And unless we can demand for somebody to do that, unless we can get a president or anybody, any type of system that could cause that to happen, then wars in Africa will consistently be profitable, because places like Hong Kong, places like Dubai, places like what I said, Switzerland, will be cleaning centers to wash all the gold. They'll wash all the gold. And any place that finds resources in the future at all, will run through those people.